Good morning, students. During the last day classes, we were discussing about atoms and molecules. We have already learned that molecule means a group of two or more atoms. They are chemically bonded together. Two or more atoms, when they are chemically bonded, they are held together by the force of attraction, is known as a molecule. There are two kinds of molecules: homoatomic molecules and heteroatomic molecules. Homoatomic molecules means, in the case of elements, for example, hydrogen, H2, it's a homoatomic molecule. That is two hydrogen atoms, two identical hydrogen atoms combined to form a hydrogen molecule. Two identical oxygen atoms combined to form an oxygen molecule. These are known as homoatomic molecules. But at the same time, in the case of water, H2O, that means HOH. In short, we write it H2O. There are, in the case of a water molecule, there are two types of atoms: hydrogen, oxygen. When there are two different types of atoms are held together or they are bonded to chemically bonded, they are known as heteroatomic molecules. Heteroatomic molecules. Now, what is the importance of molecules? How would it different from an atom? How the molecule we have discussed in the previous classes, that atom means the smallest indivisible particle of a substance. The atoms may or may not have all the properties of an element. At the same time, they may or may not have an independent existence. For example, the hydrogen atom. Hydrogen atom can be represented by H. But this is H2. H is hydrogen atom. This is hydrogen molecule. What is the difference between hydrogen atom and molecule? Hydrogen atom, it is the smallest indivisible particle of hydrogen, but it is not capable of independent existence. This hydrogen atom cannot exist independently or freely in the state. Why? The hydrogen atom is highly reactive. So, at the moment it is produced, as soon as it produces, it combines with one more hydrogen atom to form hydrogen molecule. Do you understand what I say? Atoms, molecule means the smallest particle of a compound or smallest particle of an element. Molecule means the smallest particle of an element or a compound which is capable of independent existence, and also it shows the properties of the substance. Hydrogen atom cannot have independent existence. Why? It is highly reactive. So, as soon as it produces, it immediately combines with another hydrogen atom to form hydrogen. Then, the second difference is hydrogen atom. First difference is it cannot exist freely. It cannot exist independently. Second, this hydrogen atom may or may not show the properties of all the hydrogen molecule or all the hydrogen gas. This hydrogen atom perhaps not show all the properties of hydrogen gas, but it is highly reactive. So this is the difference between an atom and a molecule. So last class we also discussed the difference between atoms and a molecule. Molecule have It is capable of independent existence, and molecule also shows the properties of the substance. Atoms may or may not have been shows the properties of the substance. Yet, in the case of monoatomic molecules, we have learned that how many atoms, we can see how many atoms in the universe. Only 118 atoms. Why 118 elements fully present? Therefore 118 atoms. These 118 atoms can be represented by 118. 118 elements can have only 118 atoms. These 118 atoms can be divided into several types according to the number of atoms present in a molecule. That is monoatomic molecule. Why are monoatomic molecules? In the case of certain elements, in a single molecule of that elements contain only one atom. That is monoatomic molecules. In the case of monoatomic molecules, atom and molecule have same properties. For example, helium, neon, argon, krypton, etc. These are inert gases. Inert means they are chemically inactive. They does not take part in chemical reactions. Those they are chemically inactive, so they are called inert gases. In the case of these inert gases, in the case of atom, He. In the case of molecule also, He. Neon. And the atom represents one atom, at the same time, Ne represents one molecule. Argon, Ne represents one argon, Air represents one argon, Air also represents one argon. In the case of monoatomic molecules, the word itself says that molecules contains only one atom. In such cases, atom and molecule, the symbol of atom and molecule are same. But in the case of metals, they have not a simple structure. Sodium, potassium, calcium, zinc, gold, iron, they have not a simple their atomic structure is very complicated. So, for convenience, we always write it as considered as monoatomic molecules. For example, sodium, Na, potassium, K, iron, Fe. So, according to the number of atoms present in a molecules, elements can be classified into monoatomic molecules, diatomic molecules, triatomic molecules, tetraatomic molecules, and polyatomic molecules. You have to study the examples for each type. Monoatomic molecules, inert gases. Diatomic molecules, ordinary or familiar gases are all diatomic molecules. What are they? Hydrogen, diatomic molecule, oxygen, diatomic chlorine, bromine. They are all diatomic. We can see on seeing the symbol, we can see that each one molecule contains two atoms. In the case of ozone, if two atoms are present in oxygen, it is known as oxygen. If three oxygen atoms combine together or held together by chemical attractive force, it is known as ozone. But which category of ozone belong to? Ozone belong to triatomic. Tri means triangle, three. Triatomic molecule. Then tetraatomic molecule, phosphorus. Phosphorus, ordinary plus people. It also tetraatomic molecules. Then polyatomic molecules, sulfur. If one molecule of an element contains more than 4 atoms, they are said to be polyatomic molecules. Then we have already studied about ions. For ion, what's an ion? In the case of a compound which is combined by combining metal and a non-metal, it is said to be electrically charged. Electrically charged. Electrically charged atoms are called ions. For example, sodium chloride. You know what is it? Common. It is common salt. It is commonly used in our kitchen. For dissolving water, it dissociates into Na positive and Cl negative ions. NaCl on dissolving water, it dissociates into or splits up into Na positive and Cl negative. Sodium chloride on dissolving water, it split into two parts. Positively charged sodium ion and negatively charged chloride ion. The reasons we can study in the coming chapters or higher classes, these electrically charged species are known as ions. These are two types. These positively charged sodium ion is called cation and the negatively chloride ion is known as anion. Now let us, you remember these three things. What are the three things? Ions, cations and anions. What are ions? Electrically charged species or electrically charged atoms. Electrically charged atoms. There are two types, cation and anion. Cation and anion. Positively charged ion, which moves towards when an electric current is passed into it, the positively charged ion moves towards the negative electrode, so they are called cations. At the same time, the negative charged ions which moves towards the anode are called anions. So then ions can be two types. One small atomic ions, then there is polyatomic ions. What is polyatomic ions? Polyatomic ions means a group of atoms having a charge. A group of atoms, they acquire a charge having a charge. It is known as polyatomic ions, or it is also called radicals. Polyatomic ions are also called radicals. For example, sodium hydroxide on dissolving water dissociates so Na positive and OH negative. You have to look at here, OH negative, it is not a single atom. It's a group of atoms. What are they? Oxygen and hydrogen. It acts as a group. Such a group of atoms having a charge is called polyatomic ions or radicals. These are very necessary for us. When the next topic we are going to write the chemical formula of compounds and substances. If you want to write the chemical formula of substance, we need all these things. What are they? First, we must remember the symbols of the 118 elements. You must learn the symbols of all the elements. You need not hard work, learn by heart the one by one all the elements of the 18. You have to read and look at several times. Then you can automatically, when you heard the name of the element, you can remember the symbol. So these are the group of atoms. Do you remember the difference between ion and polyatomic ion? Ion means two types. If the atoms, electrically charged atoms are called ions, electrically charged atom groups are called polyatoms. The name poly refers to this. Then we already studied the symbols of the element. Today we have some of the common polyatomic radicals or polyatomic ions and their valencies are given in, and their charges are given in your textbook. You have to read it, and that polyatomic, the symbol of polyatomic ions and their valencies or their charges must be learned by heart. That is required for our writing the chemical formula. For example, the ammonium ion NH4 positive. It is a polyatomic ammonium ion. Its charge is positive 1. Positive 1. Ammonium ion, hydroxide ion, nitrate ion, bicarbonate HCO3, hydrogen carbonate or bicarbonate. These all have valencies 1. The only these all have negative charge. The only positive radical in our everyday life or in your school level, you have to remember that the only positive radical you have to came across by studying chemistry is the ammonium radical. But all other radicals in your high school level textbook, all other radicals are negative charges. Only the one positive radical is ammonium ion. This charge is positive. Their valencies are 1 or their charges are 1. Then we can see the next radical, for example, sulfate, carbonate. Their valencies are negative 2. Valency charges are negative 2. Then phosphate. Their valence is positive, negative 3. So, what are the things you must remember? Important polyatomic ions. Important polyatomic ions or radicals and their valencies. And their valencies is equal to the charge of the radical. Charge and valence of the radical. Charge and valencies are same. So, you must remember this. Similarly, you have to remember the valency of some of the elements. For example, sodium, potassium, chlorine, fluorine, bromine, etc. Their valency 1. You can see in the their charge valency is 1. At the same time, calcium, magnesium, valency 2. Aluminium, valency 3. This is needed for the next topic, the chemical formula. We can pass on to the next topic, the chemical formula. Before you have to learn, you have to remember all these things. What are things? Atom, elements, atoms, symbols. Symbols, what do you mean by symbol? It is a short form of the chemical names of the element. Symbols represents the short form of the chemical names. Chemical names includes either their name in English, or for example oxygen or nitrogen N, or their name in Latin, sodium Na. By the Latin name of sodium is natrium. Potassium K. By the Latin name of potassium is kalium. Next, we can see the chemical formula. What's the chemical formula? Chemical formula, it is a symbolic representation of the composition of a compound. Symbolic representation of a symbolic representation of composition of a compound. This is symbolic representation of composition of a compound. Symbolic representation of a composition. This is very important. The symbols and chemical formula and the polyatomic names of the symbols of the polyatomic ions and their valencies must be very important in our studying chemistry. So what is chemical formula? You can explain the name of substance. I already said that the very common substance you came to your mind when you are studying every day is what are they? The first substance always you have to replace water. We can't live without a day without water. So the first is also chemical substance. When water, what is chemical formula? H2O. What does this H2O represent? It is a symbolic representation. H2O is a symbolic representation of composition. Composition of a compound. What is compound? Here the compound is water. Water, H2O is the symbolic representation of water. What do you mean by symbolic representation then? Symbolic representation of composition. Or seeing H2O, we can, what are the things you can understand? What is formed? Or one molecule of water includes what are the elements? 2 hydrogen atoms and a oxygen atom. What is, on seeing it, or having a look at H2O, at a glance we can see, we can understand. Water consists 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen. Or 2 hydrogen atoms and a single oxygen atom chemically bonded to form a water molecule. 2 hydrogen, whenever 2 hydrogen atoms and oxygen atoms are chemically bonded, a water molecule is formed. This is what we have already read the first session or the introductory session of atoms and molecule. We learned that Anthony L. Lavoisier put forward 2 important laws. What are the 2 important laws? Law of conservation of mass. Law of conservation of mass. The second law states that law of constant proportion. What is constant proportion? What is the state? Can you state the law of constant proportion? Law of constant proportion states that in a chemical substance or in a chemical compound, the elements are found in a mixed ratio. The elements are found in a mixed ratio. Here it is 2:16. That means when divided by 2, 1:5. Whenever water is formed, it is the ratio 1:8. Where 2 and the assistant comes. The previous class we have already learned the atomic mass. What is atomic mass? Atomic mass unit, AMU. Atomic mass unit is a mass unit. It is exactly equal to the 1/12 of the mass of carbon-12. Using carbon-12 as the basic standard, the IUPAC had found out all the atomic masses of all the 118 elements. Like, so, atomic mass of one hydrogen atom is 1. Atomic mass of hydrogen atom is 1. There are 2 hydrogen atoms, there are 2. The atomic mass of oxygen is 60. Here is a single oxygen atom. Therefore, hydrogen is 2, oxygen is 2 is 60. That is 1 divided by 2, 1:8. Then, now we are going to study what write the chemical formula. What do you mean by chemical formula? It is a symbolic representation, or it is a short form. We have to, in general, we call this as water. What is the chemical name? Actually, water is hydrogen oxide. On seeing hydrogen oxide or on hearing hydrogen oxide, you can't get an idea what does it. Hydrogen oxide. You can, on hearing hydrogen oxide, can you say how many hydrogen atoms there or how many oxides there? We can't say. We can say that hydrogen oxide, that means water contains hydrogen and oxygen. No, that's not incomplete. Chemistry students, whenever you are answering, your answer must be in short and correct. H2 can represent all this. H2 what does it represent? In English, we say it's hidden outside. This is actually correct. But on seeing H2O, we can understand more than hydrogen outside. What does they? Two hydrogen atoms and a oxygen. Water molecule is formed by combining two hydrogen atoms and a oxygen. And one saying one here hydrogen oxide, we can't clear how many hydrogen atoms here. Then we can ask a person to write the chemical formula of compounds. Then you have to remember the definition. You have to the symbolic representation of composition of the compound. Symbolic representation of the composition. Symbolic representation of the composition. For example, common salt, sodium chloride. In chemistry, almost all the substances have three names. Almost all the substances can be represented by three varieties. You can say, for example, NaCl. It's chemical. Once you NaCl, we can get a sodium chloride. What is common name? Its common name is common salt. In our kitchen, we call it curry or common salt. What is chemical name? Sodium chloride. What are the three names? Common name, common salt. Chemical name, sodium chloride. Chemical formula, NaCl. All the substances have these three names. You have to. Can you give a point out another example in your kitchen? The vinegar. It is used in the kitchen for increasing or preventing the spoilation of pickles. What is a chemical name? Acetic acid. Common name, vinegar. Chemical name, acetic acid. Chemical formula, CH3COOH. So, now we can pass on to how to write the chemical formula of substance. For writing the chemical formula of substance, we have to learn two things. First, the symbol of the constituent elements. First, the symbol. Second, the valence. Here, you can come to the new term valence. What's valency? The previous class we studied about atomicity. Atomicity is different from valence. Atomicity means number of atoms present in a molecules. Number of atoms, for example, oxygen O2, its atomicity 2. Ozone O3, its atomicity 3. Here valency. Valency means it is a combining capacity of an element. Combining capacity of an element. Valency means the combining capacity of an element. All the 118 elements have their valencies. Combining capacity of an element or radical element of radical or element. All the 118 elements have their valencies. What is the valency? In higher class, we can study it in detail. Valency is the combining capacity of the elements. What is the combining capacity? I said that elements, almost all the elements are very reactive. They are highly active. They cannot exist freely in the state. They cannot exist free state in the universe. Only those elements, namely inert gases, Inert gases only found free in the universe, free in the nature. Except inert gases, all other elements are found in the compound state. Why? Elements are highly reactive. Why they are reactive? They have in the elements, except inert gases, their aim is to attain stability or to become stable by obtaining 8 electrons in the outermost shell. We can study in the classes. That is actually the valency. Valency is the combining capacity. Combining capacity means the valency of one element combines with the other element. That capacity is calculated by the number of electrons gained or lost during a chemical reaction. Number of electrons gained or lost. Why the electrons gain or lost? When an element attain 8 electrons in the outermost shell, they become stable and bound in the free state. So, to obtaining 8 electrons in the outermost shell, certain elements give electrons and the other elements accept electrons. The number of electrons gained or lost in a chemical reaction is actually its valence. We can study in detail in the coming classes. Now we have to remember what is the combining capacity. We can again clarify combining capacity means the valency is like the number of ions. Human beings are 2 hands. We can hold 2 other elements. Octopus has 8 hands. So how many human beings can be held by an octopus? Octopus 8 hands. So octopus can be held together by 4 persons in the can held 4 human beings by octopus. So it is actually the number of hands. We can clear it by doing some examples. For example, you have to understand these two, the valency and the combining capacity. We have to take here oxygen. There is a water. We take the example water. Here is a water. What is the formula H2O? How it is formed? Oxygen. Oxygen, its valency is 2. Oxygen, its valency is 2 means it has 2 hands. So it can hold 2 hydrogen atoms. Actually, the correct chemical formula of water is HOH. At the same time, oxygen has the valency 2. It has 2 hands. So it can hold in each hand, it can hold a hydrogen. At the same time, hydrogen has only 1 hand. So here hydrogen hold here and oxygen hold here. The other side, another hydrogen hold here. And in short, for convenience, we write it as H2O. This is actually the correct form of the chemical formula of what is HOH. For convenience, we say that it is H2O. So we have to for writing the chemical formula. For actually writing the correct formula of chemical substance or compounds, we have to follow 3 rules. 1. Normally almost all the compounds containing metal and a non-metal. If a compound containing metal and a non-metal, we should first write the symbol of the metal first, non-metal second. The second rule must, the valencies or the charges must be balanced each other. And the third rule is, if a polyatomic ion is found in a compound, it should be always put in the, first we should put in the polyatomic ions in the bracket. If both the charges are same, we never write the valency in the subscript. For example, you can do it. For example, the valencies of some elements, hydrogen, chlorine, sodium, potassium, bromine, and the radicals OH, NO3, nitrate, these are their valencies are 1. At the same time, the valencies of calcium, magnesium, carbonate, oxygen, their valencies are 2. Sulfate, the valency of aluminium is 3. Then we can see how we should write the chemical formula of a substance. For example, we can write the hydrogen chloride. Write the chemical formula of hydrogen chloride. Hydrogen chloride. What should be first? Right? Both are non-metals. These are both are non-metals. We write the electropositive element first. Hydrogen chloride. The second step is the valence of hydrogen will be 1 and the valence of hydrogen chlorine is 1. Then what we do? They interchange their valency and write it as a substrate. Then what we do? H1 Cl1. If both the valencies are same, there is no need to write the formula. There is no need to write the valency, so the valency is HCl. We got write the substance of calcium chloride. Calcium chloride. Here you are supposed to write the chemical formula of calcium chloride. What is the first thing you must remember? You should write the calcium chloride. Here calcium is a metal and chlorine is a non-metal. Therefore, we should first write the symbol of calcium, then chlorine. Then the second thing what we have to do? What is the valence of calcium? Calcium valency 2. What is the valency of chlorine? 1. Valency of calcium 1. Valency of calcium 2. Valency of chlorine 1. What is the next step? Interchange their valencies and write are written as a subscript. What is a subscript? If a symbol H, if it is written on the bottom of the symbol, it is known as subscript. If it is written on the top of it is known as a superscript. Subscript and superscript. Here the symbols calcium and chlorine. Calcium and chlorine. First we should write the symbols, then write the valencies just below it. The valency of calcium is 2 and valency of chlorine is 1. Then the third thing what we have to do? Interchange the valencies. Valence and return as substrate. The valency of calcium is given to chlorine and written as a subscript. And the valency of chlorine is given to calcium. If the valence is 1, there is no need to write the 1. You understand? The one here is calcium chloride. on seeing the chemical formula calcium chloride, we can understand that in one molecule of calcium chloride, there is one atom of calcium and two chlorine atoms. The valence of nitrogen is 3. We can let us pass on to another chemical formula of another thing. For example, ammonia. Ammonia contains nitrogen and hydrogen. Nitrogen and hydrogen. The valency of nitrogen is 3. Valency of hydrogen is 1. Then the next thing you have to do is interchange their valency. The valency of nitrogen is given to hydrogen and the valency of hydrogen is given to nitrogen. Then what is the final formula? NH3. Whether we have to write one here, there is no need to write one here. What has the subscript of nitrogen by then equally when N is written, it is opposite 1 nitrogen. There is no need to write one. So this formula is NH3. Then we can pass on to another magnesium hydroxide. What is the substance? Magnesium hydroxide. Magnesium hydroxide. What are the constituent elements or components? Magnesium and hydroxide. What's the specialty here? Magnesium is an atom. At the same time, hydroxide is a polyatomic ion. So what you have to do? Before writing the chemical formula, first you have to write the polyatomic ions in brackets. First you should enclose the polyatomic ions in brackets. Then what is the valence of magnesium? Valence of magnesium is 2. What is the valence of hydroxide? Valence of hydroxide is 1, 2. Valence of hydroxide is 1. Then what's next thing? Interchange. The magnesium is, the valence of magnesium is given to hydroxide and the valence of hydroxide is written as the substrate of magnesium. Then what is the chemical formula? NgOH twice. Here we applied the second rule. What is the second rule? If there is a polyatomic ion, it's also known as radical. If there is polyatomic ion, what we should do first? We should enclose the polyatomic ion in the bracket, and it is written as the subscript of the element. Let us write the chemical formula of calcium sulfate. Calcium sulfate. You always remember, for writing the chemical formula of any substance, we should know two things. What are two things? The symbols of the constituent elements or the symbols of the constituents. That may be either element or ion or polyatomic. Then the second thing we need is this valency. Therefore, the calcium, its symbol is Ca. Sulfate, SO4. It is a polyatomic ion. Then what is what second thing do? If a polyatomic ion is present, we have to first enclose it as bracket. What's the valency of calcium? 2. Sulfate 2. Then what do the second thing do? Third thing do? First we have to write the elements side by side. Write the symbols of the elements side by side. On writing the symbols, the thing we have to remember is whether there is a polyatomic ion. If there is a polyatomic ion, first we should enclose in a bubble. The second thing we have to do is write their valence is just below the valence. The third thing you have to do is what is interchange the valences. The valence of calcium is given to sulfate and the valence is given to calcium. Then what's formula? Ca2 SO4. I told you that the same valence. Both valences are same. There is no need to write. There is no need to write the subscript. When two cases, what are the two cases? If the subscript is 1, no need to write it. Then the second, where there is a second case, no need to write the subscript. If both the balances of both the constants are same, no need to write it. Then what is the correct formula? CaSO4. CaSO4. Then you have to write one more thing. Aluminium chloride. Aluminium chloride. What are the constant elements? Aluminium chloride. He first write the constant elements. Then what is the second thing? Write the valence of aluminium what? 3. Write the valence of chlorine. Valence of chlorine is 1. Then the third thing, interchange the valences. Then what is the final product? AlCl3 1. What's the correct formula? AlCl. You have to write the valence of aluminium sulfate. The formula of aluminium sulfate. What are the constant elements? Aluminium, its valency 3. Sulfate, SO4, its valency 2. Here we comes the polyatomic ion, positive here right, equals in the bracket. Then what is the third step? The valency of aluminium is given to sulfate and valency of sulfate is given to. Then what is the final formula? Al2 SO4. This sometimes orderly called it as thrice. The chemical formula of aluminium sulfate is Al2 SO4 thrice. Al2 SO4 thrice. You have to do so many experiments, so many equations, so many substances are given in your textbook. You have to write. First you learn the symbols. Then the given valencies, some of the valencies of some of the elements and polyatomic ions are given in your textbook. The given substance, the given radicals, and given elements in the textbook you have to learn by heart. Then only you can write the chemical formula of compounds. These compounds, these 10 compounds are commonly called binary compounds. Binary compounds. What do you mean binary? These are called binary compounds. By which two? Because of the two parts. These are the simple compounds. These are the simple compounds containing only two parts. So they are called binary compounds. So you have to think, you have to get an idea about how to write the molecular formula of a compound. That is very important in studying chemistry. Chemistry means studying about elements, compounds and chemical reactions. Chemistry mainly deals with, chemistry is the branch of science which deals with elements, compounds and chemical reaction. Elements, if you have to study the elements or you have to study about compounds or chemical reaction, you always use the symbols and molecular formula and chemical formula of different substances. You must not, and you need a clear idea, not a vague idea. A clear idea about writing the symbols and formula of the common compounds in our daily life and your textbook also. So, when you are writing, while you are trying to write the formula of a compound, you must remember, you must know the symbol of the constituent elements or radical. For example, hydrogen H, carbon C, chlorine Cl, hydroxyl radical OH, nitrate NO3. NO3 is a group of atoms having a charge. A group of atoms having a charge. NO3 is a group and it's united. It's known as radical. And NO3, its valence is 1. SO4, sulfate. CO3, carbonate. HCO3, bicarbonate. HSO4, bisulfate. SO3, sulfite. These are given in your textbook. So, before writing the formula of the compounds, you must learn two things. What are the two things? Symbol of elements and the polyatomic. Second thing, valency of the elements and the polyatomic units. Then there are three rules for correct writing the formula. What are the three rules? In a orderly, in a compound, there may be a metal and a non-metal. You should first return the symbol of the metal, then the non-metal. If there are two non-metals, more electropositivity comes first and less electropositivity comes second. Second thing, you have to balance the charges or valencies of both parts of the compound. Third thing is, what is the third thing? If a polyatomic ion is present in a compound, first you should enclose the polyatomic ion in a bracket. Then you should write the subscript, write the valency of the other element, the subscript of the bracket. So you have to do it, try it. You don't need to learn it by heart, but try and try, write the more and more examples of the compounds given in your textbook. Then you can get a clear idea, and this become very easy. Okay, let us wind up our class today. We can continue in the next class. Thank you all.